We have breaking news from the PGA Tour. The 2026 playing of the Sentry will not be contested at the Plantation Course at Kapalua because of ongoing drought conditions and related challenges on the island of Maui. Maui County has been experiencing significant drought conditions in recent weeks, with over 90% of the region affected and more than 140,000 residents impacted, according to state data. In response, water conservation mandates were implemented to prioritize the needs of the local community. These restrictions directly affected Kapalua Resort, where the tour's agronomy team conducted a site visit in early September. That team concluded the condition of the Plantation Course had been significantly compromised by the drought and water limitations.
And this statement, Damon, from the PGA Tour, following discussions with the Governor's Office, as well as leadership from Sentry Insurance, Kapalua Resort and Maui County, the PGA Tour has determined the 2026 playing of the Sentry will not be contested at the Plantation Course at Kapalua due to ongoing drought conditions, water conservation requirements, agronomic conditions and logistical challenges. Additional event information will be shared when appropriate.
PGA Tour CEO Brian Rolapp and Hawaii Governor Josh Green, MD, met virtually on Monday to discuss the decision and the broader challenges facing the Maui community. The governor said the following: "We support the PGA Tour's decision given the drought conditions Maui is facing. Protecting our water and supporting our communities come first. The Sentry has long showcased Maui's beauty while giving back to local nonprofits, and we're grateful to the Tour, Sentry Insurance, Kapalua Resort, and Maui County for their partnership." Damon Hack and Eamon Lynch, back with you. When I think of this news, I think of it in the macro sense, what the tournament has meant in terms of the dollars generated for that community, a community that was devastated by the wildfires in August of 2023. And the loss of those dollars and another tough blow for this community.
Yeah, it's very disappointing, certainly, in the sense of the local community, because all of these PGA Tour events usually have a pretty dramatic parochial impact in that local community. It's also a bummer for golf fans. It's a bummer for the players who actually enjoy that stretch of the year, because typically a lot of those players who will show up for the Sentry also then play the Sony Open over in Honolulu right afterwards. It's also disappointing for even for golf nerds, because it is one of the more interesting golf courses we see on the PGA Tour year in, year out, the Kerr Crenshaw course out there. But, you know, these are things that professional golf can't legislate for. Brian Rolapp, I guess, is learning the lesson now that was given to Jay Monahan during the pandemic. There are just certain situations that you can't legislate for, and you have to find logistical ways around them, and that's what he's going to face now.
And there is a sadness because of the history of this tournament, which started on that golf course back in 1999. Wonderful moments, obviously Tiger, Ernie Els in 2000, Hideki's record-breaking score a year ago. I think the tour will have to adjust. Hopefully there's some way to contribute to that community, which has meant so much to the PGA Tour history, especially in the last couple of years as it's tried to rebuild that community. Our Mark Rolfing has kept us updated on those stories throughout the last couple of years. So you hope that there's a way to give back, even if the tournament is not able to be held there, which it won't be early 2026.
Yeah, and then one of the more interesting conversations, which will happen over the course of the coming weeks and months as the tour decides what the next step is what is the domino effect of this.
Right.
I mean, the Sentry isn't going anywhere because Sentry is committed to the PGA Tour. They're contracted through 2035. It's one of the longest relationships out there in terms of the PGA Tour's commercial base. Sony, on the other hand, is contracted through 2026. The Sony Open field is potentially facing a real negative impact from the fact that so many of the top players who would show up at the Sentry won't actually be in the island. So are they going to make the trip just for the Sony Open? Evidence would suggest in the past that they tend not to inconvenience themselves in that matter. It'd be nice if they did actually support the islands in this, but that does weaken the Sony Open field potentially as well in what may well be the last year of the Sony Open. And, you know, that leads to a longer conversation. And does the Hawaiian swing actually survive long term? If the Sentry is not played there this year and the Sony is somewhat potentially compromised next year in the last year of their existing contract, then it would worry people out there if that was not to be part of the PGA Tour schedule going forward. But that's moving leaps and bounds ahead of where we are now. If there is one positive out of this, it's that it is actually the first week of the PGA Tour season. It's not as though it's a week that's right in the meat of the season. It's not like the week before the Players or the week before the Masters, where it would have a much more direct impact in terms of the tour and its schedule. But it's terribly inconvenient and disappointing for the people out there who've invested so much in it.
Sure, a lot of questions to be answered. We'll keep you updated as news becomes available.